2017. This episode of Redacted is brought to you by Antlion Audio and their new Mod Mic 5. Delivers flexibility and performance all in one. Select between noise canceling and studio recording modes with a flick of a switch. Cable management has never been better. Thanks to a new modular system that included cable wrap and clips. It's what we use here on the podcast. If you'd like to check that out, go to antlionaudio.com and navigate to the Mod Mic 5. Twerk.
Board, how you doing?
How's Board doing? Let's start off with Board.
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Oh yeah, Board. Why don't you tell
I'm
us?
doing fine.
Why don't you tell us what you've been up to this last
Boom,
week?
boom.
Yeah,
I'm doing fine.
No worries, guys. No worries. Yeah. So, 1 second. Let me. I'm good. I've been good. I had to talk to my mother.
Aw, hi mom.
Hi, Mom. Let me just fix that for you.
I'm not my mother. So she's not here.
Tell her we said hi.
I will.
Hi, Mom.
I'll say she said hi. She watches you twerk. She doesn't watch you, Source.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been good.
To be fair, Twerk is on in your time zone, so
That's true.
I'm cuter to the English folks.
I think she could just never mind.
To old English
What?
ladies.
Never
What are you
mind.
saying about
No,
my
no,
She's
no.
gonna be watching this. To be
I'm
careful.
not saying anything.
Old English ladies like my
Like
my
you.
Yeah.
You're their type. Okay.
You're their type.
Makes sense. I can see
They
that.
like my look.
Yeah. There's an air about you that screams old English woman. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. That would be the name of your aftershave. No. Right. So I've been doing some Star Citizen-based videos. I'm going after specific kind of mechanics or weird stuff now, just going like, let's talk about the hurricane concept. And so I'm kind of, rather than doing gameplay based stuff, I'm just like going after particular topics quite aggressively, because I feel that this is the time to do that while we're waiting for 2.6.1 to go live,
Yeah.
which is, we'll talk more about that in a minute.
We played a shit ton more of Conan, right?
Oh my god, so much Conan. I've
How
discovered,
many hours? I put 90 hours.
I've only put 62 hours in.
I put 90 hours in.
But so when me and Twerk are playing Conan, I'm very focused on what I'm doing, and sometimes
Whoa,
we'll
I'm
go
focused
off.
on what I'm doing too.
No. So I will go off comms to just level. You're doing the base and managing people.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You're like Guilded. You have to do that shit. You have to build. You have to go. We need this. You're delegating stuff around. I can't be involved in that sometimes. I'm like, need to level.
Yeah.
People are in the way. You discover me online occasionally. Like I'll be like hunting someone.
Yeah, we're like, what the
It's
fuck?
Twerk.
Board's playing?
Yes. It's like, don't
He's
tell
being
people.
sneaky.
No.
Yeah. You got a level in that game to get a big god to smash shit. And we'll talk about that with Twerk because I assume that's your clip, Twerk, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
we'll talk about that now.
Oh,
But I'm going to the CIG Foundry 42 offices on Friday for a
Oh.
tour. I'm going to be trying to interview anyone that I can.
Will this be your
Interview
first time there?
Praxis.
Sorry, what was that, Source?
Will this be your first time there?
That'll be my first time there. I'm not really.
That amazes
I don't
me.
like the idea of NDAs,
Yeah.
so I've avoided it until now. But I was
Says the
like,
guy in
fuck it.
Evocati.
Yeah, but I mean,
Those are
mean,
those are like short NDAs. Like
Uh-huh.
you might see something like super long term.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got like
Why did they lock
I've
it
got
down
my
then?
own. I've got my own little special disclaimer, which is put me in NDAs and Evocati at your own risk. So, yeah.
Board, I'm
so
curious when you go though,
Yeah.
how much are they actually like? Okay, because that's different than any other studio because they focus so much on Squadron. Whereas you can go to, the European studios are more sensitive information rather than the LA studio where you might see like some ships, some concept artists, and things like that. There might be some Squadron 42 assets that you see, but it might not be as prevalent as a studio like the UK or Germany. I wonder what they're actually going to be comfortable with showing somebody on a tour.
Yeah, especially me.
Yeah.
So I have asked, although I understand that I'll probably be under NDA, give me some bits that I am able to talk about because I want to stream straight away afterwards and just have a quick chat with people. And then I'm going to be going to the Dancing Man pub or the Old Dancer, just down the road, and we're doing like a bar citizen now because a load of the devs said they'd come. So we're gonna get drunk afterwards. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone that's coming down for the studio tour. Should be cool. But anyone that wants to come down to the Wimslow place, the old dancer afterwards for bar citizen thing, please do. I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I feel like I need to move
Moving
my
your
hands.
So you get to see Drunk Board again.
Oh, well, I can't get too drunk, even though I will get shit-faced.
I can't get
obviously,
too drunk,
because
just shit-faced.
well, it's I need to get up at 5 a.m. for my plane, because I'm getting I think my plane leaves at 7, so I need to get up at 5 realistically. But it should be fine. I'm not sure what we're doing for Conan anymore. I'm sure Twerk will talk about this because we've hit the limit of what we can do at the moment without some sort of impetus of how do we what's our next goal? Our next goal was
to
wiping
be honest,
people, and we killed them all.
your next goal should be going to a public server and seeing how you do on a public server. Again,
That's what I
like
think we
teaming up
talked about.
together. We all team up together.
That's
And
That's what we
and
want to do.
go on a
Get
public
all
server
the
and
people
go
that we were
wreck.
playing with, and go to a public server.
I like the
all
idea
of
of
us.
having a specific target on that public server as well. Like, we know that this guy's on there. Let's ruin his day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than getting ready for the thing on Friday, that's what I've been doing.
Right on.
What about you, Twerkerson?
I've just been playing Conan. Like I've neglected everything in life other than Conan right now. But now that's we've kind of reached the pinnacle. So we'll be watching a video of Board was the one that grinded up to level 50. I'm level 30. And you'll see this is Matauchi's base, and we were raiding it.
Was.
Yeah,
Was
this was Matauchi's
GG.
base. So
Oh, what a
yeah,
man.
basically he raided us 2 nights in a row while we weren't around. So Board reached level 50, which means you're able to you're basically able to bring up a god, and a god does mass destruction.
What god did you bring
So-
up?
Yogg, because
Yogg.
it can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yogg can fly. You need Yogg because he can fly because their base was up on a mountain.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're doing now is we found out a little thing, and NDA don't do this to us, but you can actually the explosion pots you can
Yeah.
stack them up too high, and then you can jump on top of them to get
Stairs.
up, make little stairs to get up into people's bases. So this was an indestructible or they build the base so they couldn't get in.
Yeah. They didn't
but
build
no.
it high enough.
Yeah.
No,
so
See, I don't know
the
if you built
idea- the
mine on top of a spire, and then you just
The
get rid of the
idea here-
stairs.
Yes.
yeah, they got rid of the stairs as well.
So they got rid of the stairs, but we damaged some of it and then built explosion pot stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get onto their foundation.
That's
They didn't
the,
take
that's
enough
the problem.
stairs
They
out.
didn't take enough
But-
stairs out, and
Yeah.
they were still too low.
Yeah.
But they did eventually. One of their people was in their base and did get to take down their stairs. They smashed their stairs in time.
Mm-hmm.
The top of their structure.
Yeah. So as we're getting up there, you'll see at the top right that he smashed the stairs. A piece of stairs just started falling down. We're like, what the fuck? He's on now. There was nobody there. We were about to take over the base, and which would have been amazing. We would have gotten all their stuff. And if you want to scroll forward a little bit, you can see Board bring up Yogg destroying it. Because it
Is
might
that
be
in the daytime?
yes. So it might be a few minutes before Yogg comes up.
I accidentally killed Maya with it as well.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to expect when summoning it, so I summoned it and I went, guys, you've got to protect me because I'm really vulnerable. Maya went, okay, I'll protect.
Oh no, this is too late.
Sorry.
Too late.
This is too
Go
late.
back a bit. Yeah, that's pure destruction. There's no base there anymore.
Is this better?
It's-
I still see you're on the base.
Pre-bags.
It's quick. It's 60 seconds that Yogg's up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just we're all going now. What I see now is we're all going back. I think we're about to go back to Board. He's taking down the stairs. That's the one guy that came online to save their base, and he did. Well, he saved their material from us.
Well, the issue is if that guy wasn't there, we would have done a light raid, we'd have stolen all the precious stuff, and they would
Yeah.
have still had a base standing.
No, they wouldn't have. Don't lie.
I wouldn't have, I
We would
wouldn't
have
have summoned
destroyed
the
the whole
gods.
fucking thing.
Or maybe.
We would have destroyed the whole thing. So this
Felt
was
good.
us trying to destroy we were trying to destroy one of their shrines, and it was like, okay, this thing's not breaking. I broke my sword on it.
So what are your thoughts on the game overall?
Overall, I think it has a lot of potential. It's very much like Ark, where it popped out of nowhere. It didn't. I mean, Conan didn't really pop out of nowhere. A lot of people were talking about it, but it's very much like Ark in the sense that it streams pretty well, I think, and it's about your group and the people you're playing with and community. Like, it's so fun because of the people that I play with. I don't necessarily know if the game is good because my experiences with the people I've been playing with and how well everybody worked together, that's what made it fun.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, I've played it both solo and with other people, and I mean, it's somewhat fun solo. But
I enjoy the base building.
Yeah, I enjoy the base building part, but the rest of it is kind of like grindy when you're by yourself. And
even when you're not by yourself, it's fun.
I love everything else other than base building in this game. So I went total nomad at one point. I went feral. I built a shrine that I hid from people, and then was like glitching beds and chests and walls, so I could run and have supplies around the map.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Or doesn't play by the rules. Oh yeah, I see it.
You're just too vulnerable. Is the problem? Is
it pooping? It's pooping.
It's a octopus, so that's like ink.
I didn't realize how close to death you were to work.
I was right there. I'm purple.
Oh my god. My angry octopus, mate. It felt so powerful. I mean, obviously they need to be balanced, so they're super expensive.
They're a little too cheap.
Over to their back.
Oh god.
Because you control that. I'm literally playing from its point of view. Going,
holy Jesus Christ.
Dude, it was pure destruction. 2 bags of their shit fell on the ground. That was it. Everything else was gone.
I think I was singing the I Dream of Jeannie theme song while I was doing this as well.
It's like total. Their base is gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
60 seconds of that.
That's what they get. They knew they had it coming too. They knew they had it coming. They were pretty brutal to us.
I had to play over an hour per minute to get that. Per second. Per second to get that. Oh.
It was pretty fun to watch and be a part of, I could tell you that. But I mean, yeah, that's literally what we've been up to this week. I did one Star Citizen stream. I did a bunch of giveaways on Sunday.
Yep.
Which was nice. Unfortunately, that was supposed to be the Sunday previous, but I had to work. And yeah, I mean, that's what I've been up to. And this week, it's going to be hopefully a lot more Star Citizen. So we should be talking a bit more about that in a little while. So what have you been up to, Soros?
So I've been doing the same thing. I've been still playing Star Citizen every morning. Doing that for a little bit and then jumping on Conan. I had a segment called Soros Shits on It, where I told people to just to mention a game and I'd pull it up on Steam and I'd shit all over it.
You do that a lot, I noticed.
I do that a lot, yeah.
People are like, Soros, play this game, and you're like,
this is
man,
why.
That game's shit.
Yeah, but it's not that I just say it's shit. I give a reason why I don't like it. So I was doing that and whatever, and we set up all of our cameras and stuff for the kitchen, for kitchen streams, and I'll be doing another. I'm gonna make some Benny's noodles later, but yeah. So we did that. I made some French toast and bacon and eggs and all that fun stuff. It was pretty cool. It worked out pretty well. Where's a good thing here? Yeah, so we have it. So in the top corner, I have my little center island where I had all my ingredients and was putting stuff together. Then the other one, you can see out my window and it's all snowy and gross out and like the stove and stuff. And the only downside was because I had set it up last minute, the audio wasn't synced properly. And I don't have a camera on the stove. Which I would really like to do is be able to put some sort of camera on the stove. So, because people are like, oh, it would be really awesome. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to tell when something's ready just by looking at it. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Do you need a camera on your stove, or can you get some sort of GoPro?
Well, I have some sort of GoPro, but I would need a camera on my stove. Like it's not hard to do. I just need another. I have the extension and everything. I just need to move this camera here that I'm not using, and move it over to the stove and put it on a little tripod.
This kind of social eating and cooking phenomena is really odd to me.
Yeah,
and I love it. I'm everything has its place now on Twitch and online and videos. It's just such an odd phenomena that's just suddenly happened.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But it was fun, and you know, I pulled up the stream on my phone so I could see my stream. I pulled up my chat on my tablet, and I put that down, and people could see that on stream and everything, and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed doing it. I want to do it more often. Like I want to start doing like the KFC recipe, for example, leaked a couple months ago. I want to do like KFC everything, you know, or like I want to do like build a pizza, or like stuff like that.
I think I would like
it'd
to
be really
see.
fun.
I would like to see on cooking streams, and what I would do if I was doing cooking streams is just game recipes.
Yeah.
So I'd literally look through like things that are mentioned in animes and games that don't necessarily have a recipe and try and make it, or
find another recipe and then make it under that.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. I'd love to see stuff from games done.
Yeah, like I take
stuff there.
a lot of inspiration from Stacy's stream.
Mm-hmm.
She's not paying attention to me right now. Her Nerdy Bartender, where she does that. She like will make drinks based on games or based on like popular culture or whatever. But it doesn't. There's nothing really out there for it. So yeah, I mean that's sort of what I want to do. If anybody has like awesome family recipes, and that they'd love to see me try or make or whatever, send me a message on Twitter or Discord with that recipe. Let me know who you are, what it is, and I'll make it on stream. Like this is the kind of stuff where it's a nice break from streaming. I get to get up and move around, and I can continue streaming, and then I can come back and jump back in game or whatever.
Would you make anything you can marinate?
Anything.
So, because like you'd have to marinate before.
So this is what I would do, and I've thought about that. Same with the slow cooking. Like I want to do pulled pork and stuff. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll record it the night before on OBS as a video of me setting it up and putting it away, and then I will just play that at the beginning of the stream. So then it's like TV magic. Like 12 hours later.
I want you to try the fajitas that I make. I think they're really good.
Done.
All right.
So I'll do that, and then
I'll send you the recipe.
Yeah, that'd be sick. And then just send me an ingredients list and all that stuff, and I'll make sure to get everything as close to exact as possible. But yeah,
it's super simple. It's very basic.
Is it? I really love doing this. It was a ton of fun, and I want to do more of it. And it's nice because I can literally just switch. It's like, okay, I'm hungry. Instead of me shutting off my stream, I can be like, okay, let's just jump over. Let's cook something quick, like noodles or something, right? Mm-hmm. Now I have like mushrooms and steak and stuff like that. I'll cut it all up, throw it in there, make it, come back over, and jump back in game. So without having to jump off game.
Maybe you should do a stream where you cook, but you don't cut any of it up. So you got like a whole steak on a packet of noodles, a whole onion. No.
I mean, I gotta eat it, so
I'd watch that. I'd watch you eat that.
I'm sure you would.
For my amusement, come on.
I'm sure you would. Anyways, that's all I've been really up to.
How to basic.
Yeah, how to basic. Just start smashing eggs all over the place. I wouldn't mind doing that, except for the cleanup would be a pain in the ass. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I've been up to. Like I said, I at least play 2 or 3 rounds actually of Star Marine until I feel my blood start to boil, and then I'm like, all right, let's go do something else. And I even threw in a couple other games like Cluster Truck, and I think one day I spent 2 or 3 hours just going over what games are coming out, what ones that are already out, and why I don't like them.
Wow.
But yeah, no. And I also played Wildlands and beat Wildlands. Now I actually really enjoyed Wildlands. I think I need a new Xbox controller because my controller broke. For a lot of different games coming up, but that would be something that
it was
really fun because it was either single player or co-op, and it was a lot of fun playing co-op. I played with Xanders and who else did I play with? Oh my god, I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I was gonna play
You're
it.
the
I just
worst.
got obsessed with Conan. I couldn't stop.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Couldn't stop.
So yeah, so let's jump into the doc here.
Let's do it. I think we have the Citizen of the Stars to start, and that was with STL Youngblood, who's obviously a well-known YouTuber
Yep,
and Board, you're friends with him, right?
I love
I
his
haven't talked
hair.
to him too much. He's a good
I see
guy.
him as competition, but he's not as pro as. But yeah, he's a friend.
That's what,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
he
was
is.
going.
It's a good chat.
That's what I was
It's a good chat.
going. That's what
Yeah, I
was
love
going
Jeremiah.
for. And then
Look
and
at
then
his
Jeremiah
hair. Look,
leaves
he
him.
looks
I
like he's
told you
wearing a
his hair
wig.
was crazy. I told you his hair was crazy. He just straight up rolled out of bed and was like, "Yo, sup? Let me answer some questions, dude."
Nice.
The
He
best
looks-
is the best part is they said, "What is your name and what do you do here?" And he just fucking froze. He forgot. Look at him. He goes like, "Wow, I don't know."
I don't know.
just- I don't know. He looks really good, Goofy. Do you know what I mean? He looks at his
Dude,
best when
Jeremiah
he's
Lee
fucking
is
around.
fucking awesome. I hung out a lot with him at Citizen Con, like
Mhm.
a lot with him. Basically, watched the whole thing with him. And he's just a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
The best he just didn't know what to say at the start. He was like, "Oh wow, that's a tough question." It's like literally, what is your fucking name, Jeremiah? That's the only thing that we do know already.
Yeah.
No, but then he got pretty far. He was saying, oh God, what they were talking about. I should have put this in the doc. I figured I would remember because it was just a few minutes before that I watched it. Was what he's working on. He's working on the heavy pirate armor, and there's some other stuff that's being worked on that he couldn't talk about.
I mean,
Yeah.
he talks about him being early in the pipeline, something he's excited about.
Yes.
He talks briefly about the Titan armor that he's excited about.
So, like, is that
and the
in
female
concept?
character.
That was another one of the things that I was like, Oh, yeah,
Well, we're
slaver
supposed-
armor, not pirate.
We're supposed to be slave armor, isn't it? And we were supposed to be getting the next great Star Marine. So do we think we're not going to get that anymore, and that CIG are handling that internally? I've just realised I kicked my jaw out of place.
Ford's
Sorry, it's
Falling
like my jaw
apart.
really hurts. It's clicked out of place.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, we know he's working on some 3.0 based stuff as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it was the 3.0 based stuff was Levski and NPCs. That was the one that I was missing. It was Levski NPC is they're still concepting those. So again, I always go back to this. The more they tell us about what they're working on, the more you can tell how far 3.0 is.
yeah.
Right. And I hate seeing it, but it seems
It's-
like it's a little ways away.
Everybody's all excited for 3.0 and stuff, and here I am just wanting 2.6.1. You know?
Well, I think you're a little more grounded than most of the people, then, right?
Yeah.
I think
I know.
We
I
it's
try
gonna
and
be a
I
little
try
ways.
and let people know that let's just worry about one patch at a time. And
Yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
exciting to see all of that stuff, but it's gonna be a while, I think.
I mean, you should start a new series. Soros shits on other people's expectations. You're like bringing people down to earth.
I think that's
tagline.
I think
Yeah,
that's what
boom!
I think that's been me the most over the last few months. It's just like 3.0 is really far away, and I keep saying summer. And in the beginning, everyone was like, nah, and then now
Yeah,
you
they're
can.
like,
The more
are you
I
sure
see
it's gonna be
people-
that early?
Yeah, like the more I see people, because every day somebody in chat's like, I think it's going to be X date, and now everyone is starting to say June-ish,
Yeah.
which is a lot more logical, I think. But yeah, so that was just a quick thing. I thought they're interesting. The Citizens of the Stars. I think I preferred this one more because it was Jeremiah. I love Jeremiah. But overall, it's cool. They do the MVP on it now.
I really enjoy this because, okay, so for me, and we've talked about this briefly before, I like stuff organized into specific categories for my own personal reasons. I like Citizens of the Stars because it takes that section out of ATV and puts it into its own separate community section, which is great.
Yeah, so if you want to watch it, you can. If you don't, you don't.
Exactly. And they can very much focus on people making a cake or a sandcastle in the shape of Kepler or whatever. And you can do that as like a quick mention, as well as doing some community stuff and then doing these quantum question things. It's very good. It works. With ATV, I still want them to take out those segments like they do on the music and they do on the intelligence engineering and make them their own special videos that happen occasionally. And just keep ATV quite small, but that's just me.
Something I want to just jump in really quick before I forget. I wanted to ask this earlier and I totally forgot. Audio seems to be an issue almost every podcast, and I haven't seen any complaints in chat. Knock on wood, as of right now.
I saw a few, but not. It was.
I want to know if
on my end.
Yeah, is it
me.
that we are we balanced for audio? I know there's a delay, so I just wanted to know if you guys thought I was too high, because that was the case last time. Yeah, everybody's saying audio's on point. Okay, cool.
Fantastic. That's
Good to
hear.
Balanced like a good breakfast. Excellent. Let's move on to the Around the Verse.
Yes. So Around the Verse was focused this week on the audio specifically. So for the podcast, it's not the
There's not
best
lots to talk
topic
about.
for us. There's not a lot to talk about because it's more a listening thing.
If you're an audiophile and you want to see some more about Jeff Zanelli, I can't remember his fucking name.
Yep.
Jeff
That's right.
Zanelli.
Is it Zanelli?
I think so.
I wrote it in the doc. It's Jeff Zanelli. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
Jeff Zanelli.
And the some of the music and what his inspirations were and about him. Check that out. But it's you have to be into that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to talk about other than
They showed a lot of really cool stuff that we're looking at right now from the German studio, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new
the
weaponry works.
Improved weapons look amazing. The new is it Kestek arms?
Yeah.
That they're those were really
I'm
awesome.
really looking for it. We've seen those weapons prior, but those are weapons I'm really excited to get my hands
Klaus
on.
and Werner as well for the FPS stuff, but they're also doing the Nightbridge arms range for ship weapons.
Mm-hmm.
What's the new ship weapons? I thought they looked pretty cool.
And then they just showed the them shooting down their test bed, I guess, for FPS
test
weapons.
range.
Test range, yeah,
Just to see how everything's going.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see because I think a lot of us were saying like, "Hey, I hit you enough, and why didn't you die a few times?" And they actually found some discrepancies in the way weapons were firing and how much damage they were doing and all that stuff. So that's good news that they found those discrepancies.
How about this video of Cellin and all the different plants and stuff? I think so.
Yeah, I think it's Cellin as well.
It could be.
It's a moon, that's for sure. Yeah. It's procedural moons, and that's cool, which means they're progressing, and it either means 3.0 is massive, or like it's getting. Are we going to get Elite Dangerous style landings first?
Okay, so there's two types of astral bodies you're going to get planet-wise. Okay, you're going to get stuff that is extremely heavily procedurally generated, and you're going to get stuff that is artist sculpted. Okay,
and the moons are heavily generated.
They're going to be heavily generated. There's going to be barren planets and barren things and asteroids that are 99% procedural generated, and then a little tiny bit of artist sculpting. The procedural generation will be used on every astral body as well. So it is important that they get it as best they can because it makes their job a lot easier. And when they add, these planets are fucking huge compared to other games as well.
They're huge. This is insane.
Yeah, and so getting those planets, the moons and things to look right is super important. Get that tech as best they can. You'll notice as well a lot of the textures on the moon that they showed there. You can see that it's copied and pasted effectively.
Yeah.
Like you can see the grids of the textures. Eventually, obviously, that will get pasted out, and the procedural generation of pebbles and rocks, they're all moving that towards so that you can't notice the patterns. That is something that is incredibly hard because your brain will try and see patterns everywhere. So
That's what we do. Yeah.
And if there is a texture that's just copied and pasted, which they kind of have to do in a lot of the situations, we'll notice it. So they have to find all these ways of like hiding it. You can see it all there.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I have pulled up on the stream right now, and I actually just paused it, is all the vegetation. And they've said that not only are they getting the leaves to move, but now they're getting the actual branches and some of the other
trunks
stuff to move very slow. Like, I think they exaggerated it a little bit here just to
I was
show
gonna
that it
say
works.
that.
But
Yeah.
it'll move, and it's just those little subtle things that are going to help out.
Well, I think that the important thing there was that the trunks and the branches move separately to the leaves.
Mhm.
So the leaves can move and the trunks can bend
Yes.
as well.
Mhm.
And if you look at the fucking shadows, I got really excited when I saw this. Look at the individual shadows. Everything there has its own individual shadow, even stuff that I didn't think was part of like the shadowy system. Like
The
you see some
shadowy
grass
system,
and
yeah.
stuff. Well, I don't know how to describe some stuff. I get
Yeah,
sick,
but
like,
everything is
it-
affected by the light.
Yeah.
it's so
It's
good.
really
And
cool.
the shadows and everything are on point. The lighting
I mean,
is
it's
really,
gonna-
really good in this game.
So for me, is this going to be something that I can put on ultra on 1440p and not have my computer implode? Like quite genuinely, because you want to run those games at the highest settings. If those settings
This-
are available there,
This game you want to be running and make it as beautiful as
Mhm.
possible. You
Yeah.
know, that's the whole point of this game. There's never been any doubt about how good it will look. Nobody doubts that.
there is
are
still
zero
some people,
doubts.
Twerk, that have beastly PCs that will run this game on the lowest settings just to get a frame rate advantage.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, it's so
There's always
pretty.
those
Why?
guys.
Yes, I understand that as well.
But
What
I
about
go ahead,
the particles though?
yeah,
The particles of the
This-
snow and the leaves and everything.
and the sand
Yeah.
flowing off of that hill.
So
It's
there was
it's cool.
two different things shown in that specific segment at the end, and it was particle effects for cameras. So if you're in a biome with trees or in a snowy biome, if it's snowing, attached to your camera there will be specific like particles like snow that will fall or leaves that will blow. They're not really there for other players as far as I'm aware. It's just for your camera, and it helps give you a little bit of immersion. But the other thing that was there was procedural particles based on terrain elevation and terrain type and biome type. So in the desert, like wind will blow and blow
Mhm.
sand off rocks, and they'll be affected by the terrain elevation, the weather, the wind direction, loads of stuff to generate those particles. That looks great. That adds immersion to. I mean, in Conan, that with the sand that we had,
Yeah.
that
your
was
feet in it.
awesome.
The
but
sandstorms.
can you imagine? Can you imagine
No.
with procedural? So there's a big sand plane,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
in it, like the sand's really soft, so that when you run through it,
Yeah.
you leave influence and like a trail. And if
Right.
you drag
If you're
something through it,
dragging
you leave
something.
a trail.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
and it-
really good. It's
And it
really
looks
cool.
really cool, and the land reclaims it very quickly. But that with a wind effect with particles blowing like they showed
Yeah.
there would look fucking amazing.
Yeah,
That's what I hope that
it would be
they
that system in Conan on steroids.
I mean, it looks really cool on the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool on sand. I'm really excited for everything they show there. In fact, I don't think there's been something they've shown in the Frankfurt Foundry 42 office that I haven't
hasn't been good.
incredibly.
That hasn't been
Yeah.
It's always
awesome.
great.
Let me
Yeah.
remind everybody right now that if you have any questions, you can type in !question in chat. Anna will provide you with a link that you can click on. It's a Google form. Fill that out. Let us know what your question is, whether it's for one of us, Board, Twerk, or myself, or if it's for all of us. And we will get to those at the end of the podcast. So remember, we do have those questions, but that's the only place we take them from. So if you have a question, refrain from asking it in chat and just ask it right through the Google Doc there.
Mm-hmm.
Music of
Moving
Squadron 42.
Yeah, so we touched on it a little bit. I mean, it was really cool. Again, it was Jeff Zanelli and this was all, again, Music of Squadron 42. So if you want to go and watch that or listen to that, It's the story about his career, kind of. It starts out with, and then what they do at Star Citizen, and then they go into how the procedural generation of the music works, and they gave us another touch of that a bit. Like they gave us a bit more of that. I think they've gotten a lot deeper than what we've seen in previous ATVs on how it's going to work, because they were happy with what they had, but I think they felt it was a little too. It wasn't. It didn't transition well enough, and then they kind of went even crazier, and they gave us a little bit of detail on that, some more. So that was the basics of it. But again, it was much more of a listen to section of the podcast than it was anything. I loved it. It's just not the perfect topic for us to talk about.
Quite genuinely very well filmed, though. I love the way that music section was filmed.
Yeah, this makes me think that they're actually starting to work on the documentary stuff, right? Which is something that they said they wanted to do, and I feel like this is going to be a part of that. And this style of filming.
Absolutely. I really liked it. I enjoyed watching it a lot. I think a lot of people, like, since I get to the ATV and RTV or whatever now, happy hour stuff a little late, because I watch it the next day. Most people have already seen it, and they're like, ATV resident sleeper, or all they did was talk about music. And then we sat there and like when you sit there and really listen to it, there's actually some pretty interesting little tidbits in there about how the game's going to be and how it's going to play. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Right on.
Yeah. Happy hour was next with our good friend Sergeant Gamble. So that was on
Ever
Friday.
sit next to a Mountie before?
That was so good. That's right away how they started it, was asking that question to the guys that were there, and they were like, what are you talking about?
I love that I was there for that meme for when it started.
Yeah. that was an epic meme. I missed it live. I'm really sad. So the video that we are watching, though, and the one of the big hint or things that we got from this episode was the white or gray box version of the Aurora. So Elwyn Bachelor is redoing the Aurora basically completely to bring it up to spec with all the current ships that they have. So I think it's going to remotely look the same, or it's going to be the same look.
Yeah.
But, he changed the landing gear a little bit, changed some animations and the doors and stuff like that he mentioned.
There's new materials and lower poly counts, and it looks a lot better as well. I mean, it's going to be a one-to-one conversion as well. So what I mean by that is it's not a new Aurora. You're not going to have your old Aurora and new Aurora. They will do that with some ships in the future. This will just
like the Hornet. Right. Yeah. So this isn't the 2947 Aurora, like Board's saying. This is the 2945 Aurora that we all purchased, but it's just being brought up to spec with all the other ships and with the materials and like the less resource heavy.
Yeah, almost always with reworks. They're not an additional ship or an additional version. They are literally a change.
Think the Hornet reworks that we got recently.
Yes.
Yeah, which, or the cut. Look at what's going on with the Cutlass. Things like that.
And that's even more.
That's even more so. But it's just bringing everything up to date and polished.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. They also mentioned the Hurricane is definitely the next concept sail. Board, you spent a lot of time. You spent a whole video on that, right? So
yeah.
What do you think it's going to be? I mean, wasn't it considered a starter ship in the original? Part of it?
Originally, it was the least popular choice in that poll for what do we have as a third starter ship, which eventually the MISC Reliant one.
Yeah.
But
which I'm still salty about.
Well, so normally this stuff, like the Terrapin did, it evolves quite heavily from its original concept in these situations. We don't need another starter ship. That's obvious. We probably don't need another light or medium fighter, so we have like a ton of them.
Yeah.
It might not even be Anvil anymore. So
that's true.
It might not be the Anvil Hurricane. It probably will be. I'm hoping, because the original blurb is basically like militias use it to add a heavy to their kind of their fleet, and it uses loads of small bore weapons. So if it's kind of stayed true to that blurb, it's likely to be covered in lots of size 1 or size 2 weapons, but probably will suffer from being like an older heavy fighter or something like that. So
people keep saying gunship.
Well, I think it's probably going to be a heavy fighter, but an older heavy fighter, like in the same way that Gladius is an old light fighter.
Yeah.
But it could be a glass cannon. It could be just covered in size 1 weapons. Though I do feel that the Buccaneer and a couple of other ships already fill that role.
Yeah.
So we don't know. I mean, it could not be a fighter at all. It could be something totally different now, which is the issue. But I'm thinking if it's an older heavy fighter, it will probably be between like $200 and $250.
Yep.
But what do you guys think?
I don't think I didn't do much of a look into it. I don't look
really
at
know what
ships
it is.
anymore.
I don't either. I'm more concerned about the technical side of things and more
Okay.
content.
Let me put this to you in a different question then. For combat ships, what do you feel that we are lacking?
Heavy
the
for
verse?
sure.
Yeah?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a tanky,
There's
heavy
nothing
ship. We don't
heavy.
have that. We have all the we have dogfighters, and we have
no
the
real
gladiator.
gunships. Like,
We have the gladiator, and that's supposed to that's kind of tanky, right? But
The
it's
Gladiator
not.
is a light bomber.
Yeah, it's a
medium bomber.
bomber. But yeah, it's not a. We don't have any heavies.
yeah, I mean, there's like
Well-
the Vanguard.
Vanguards. I would refer to the Vanguards and the Lightning. We haven't really seen yet
Yeah.
as heavy
Yeah.
fighters, because heavy
Yeah.
fighter traditionally means that it's either a long range or got loads of weapons on it.
Do you know why it doesn't feel like I didn't think of the Vanguard? It doesn't feel heavy. It's got quite a bit of maneuverability, and
Mhm.
like you can dogfight in it.
It just doesn't
Well,
feel
so-
like you just plow through things with it,
As I said,
Yeah.
right? You just want something that's
traditionally,
slow and
heavy fighter doesn't mean heavy in size or weight necessarily. It
It's
just
heavy in
means that it's got-
weaponry.
Yeah, or it's outfitted for long range, traditionally with 2 engines. I mean, that's World War II. Obviously, that's changed significantly in modern warfare, where missiles are now what people use for fighting.
missiles and
light-
drones.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
But with
and
Star
light fighters
Citizen,
are exactly the same as heavy fighters.
but with Star Citizen, aren't the ships kind of based around sort of World War II-y?
They are inspired by them heavily.
Inspired,
certainly.
like the class of ship, right?
Mhm. So yeah, I mean, the Vanguard Warden is very much so, in my opinion, a heavy fighter.
Okay.
Very much so.
You see, it feels more
Heavily
medium to
inspired.
me because I can dogfight against light and medium fighters in it and not get
Yeah.
So
absolutely smashed.
the Super Hornet and the Saber are very much medium fighters.
Hmm.
And they feel kind of light to me.
They feel
Yeah.
kind of like because they should as a medium fighter. The upgrade from that is a fuck ton of weapons, and normally
Okay.
dual engine and normally like big engines.
Yeah.
That's why I see it anyway. I mean, it's really hard to suggest and talk about now because it's kind of referring to World War II combat.
Yep.
Previously.
Yeah. But I think the only other thing from the happy hour was that they also mentioned the fact that they had 5 other ships that were in various forms of concept at the moment. So and then we'll be seeing them all in the next year. And then this was really kind of cringy to me about happy hour was they brought on the ship guys for an hour-long show, and then for a good portion of it, they were like, "Can't talk about that. Well, we can't talk about that."
Yeah.
And oh yeah, we can't talk about that. So it was just like, what the fuck are you guys even doing here? And then they did leak a little bit of something interesting. Was Elwin said, "Well, I know we're working on a really small ship."
Jet bike.
And then Ben goes, "That's the one we're not supposed to be talking about." And it's just like, well, he just said it. Let's
That's
fucking
the
talk about it.
Brum Brum one, isn't it? That we've heard about. It's got to be.
Like another motorcycle.
Another
It's got to be a jet.
for that class of ship. They need.
Yeah,
they
because
need
I think
some
they
more.
know that we loved it.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I mean, fuck.
And
Let's
now
keep
that they
going
have
with it.
planets and stuff, they're gonna need those kind of things. We're gonna need to
Exactly.
see. You know, I'm excited to see. We know that they have tracked vehicles working. You know,
Well, that they
one of
can.
those- Yeah.
I very.
Well, you
much
know we're
want-
gonna get tracked vehicles if
Yeah,
at some
at some
point.
point.
At some point, we'll get
At some
them.
point.
We'll get. We need more ground vehicles. We can't just have 2.
No.
Yeah. And we're gonna have boats and stuff as well. They've said so. Just bear that
For
in
real?
mind. Yeah. They said they were gonna have boats. This a while ago. Twerk. You're behind the times. They said there's gonna be boats.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fact. I'm not pulling out my ass. Yeah, deal with that. But I very much want this jet bike to be an evolution of the Segway. I want to see these on planet surfaces, but I also want to see loads of them, people traveling around in Idris and capital ships inside them. Just
And, like,
making
making YouTube videos of them doing stupid stuff on them and like falling over.
Yeah,
Be great.
yeah, just upside down on my jet bike.
I mean, if it's like the Segway, then.
Yeah, definitely.
Halloween costumes, like with carpets, flying carpets as Segways. Did you see that?
I have not, but I'm gonna do that one day.
Somebody dressed up as Aladdin for
Yeah,
Halloween.
in New York.
And they had a carpet behind them, and they were on a Segway, and it was like they were on a flying carpet. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
It was on a boosted board. They put a boosted board underneath the carpet, and we're
Is that
riding
what it
on
was?
it. Yeah. And it's a remote controlled skateboard. I really want one, but
okay.
they're like $2,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they go like
Worth.
50 kilometers or 50 miles or something like that.
Saurus,
At like 20
if you
something
have the
miles an hour.
ability to control that while you're streaming and it's underneath your chair,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that
Down the
people
street?
would meet that donation goal pretty quick.
I mean, I have all of my mobile streaming rig is right here. So I mean, I could just wear the backpack, have the camera going, remove
Twitch
the base.
Saurus.
Oh my god, dude, they would crash me into
More like
traffic.
Twitch kills.
Yeah,
Saurus.
Twitch kills Saurus. Crash me into traffic like right away.
I got dark.
But it would be really fun because you can take off the base of these chairs, and you could just put like a skateboard there. It was like me.
So we let's get to the meat of today's podcast. So I was streaming this morning and I'm playing Conan, and Toby Tej messages me in chat, and he's like, at twerk, and just posts the link. And I read the link, and the link has 2.6.1 in it, and I'm like, all right, well, I think we got to look at this. So I stopped the stream and I look at
We
it.
stopped the raid.
We stopped the raid that we were
mid-raid.
that we were doing, and everybody watched my stream as we read through this, and it ended up being on Spectrum. They posted the patch notes for 2.6.1.
And so I have them here, and I'm gonna read them.
Yeah, and we were just like, whoa. Okay.
So I guess I'll start. Now this is for the patch. It's currently not out yet. I think most people are anticipating it to come out today.
Yeah.
But these are the patch notes. So welcome to 2.6.1. This patch is primarily dedicated to bug fixes targeting Star Marine and Arena Commander in particular. However, we also have some quality of life improvements for the game, updates to spectator mode, and new implementations to our ongoing network code updates. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Your launcher
It's
should...
out. I think it's out.
Is it?
The launcher version has changed to that version number that is in that patch note.
Your launcher should show 261-502812 as the client version.
It is now shows.
Strongly recommended that players delete their user folder in their test client after patching, particularly if you start encountering any odd character graphical issues or crash on loading. User folder can be found here. So let's go through the notes here. So new features. Star system. So in Crusader, the Kovalex PI mission has been expanded with additional objectives and Easter eggs that can be unlocked.
Can I just interrupt you very briefly,
Yep.
Saurus? So that version of the patch notes got removed and then they replaced them again. It was public still. And some of those features, including the one that you just said there, was removed.
Okay.
So we're not entirely sure whether it's going to make it. But
Okay.
just keep that in mind.
Keep that
Some of
as
this
a
stuff
disclaimer.
might not. Yeah.
Arena Commander balance changes. Revenge kills and Resurgent awards have been removed from Arena Commander for the moment. So that's a temporary thing. Lowered the spawn rate of pirates and Pirate Swarm slightly to provide a less drastic difficulty curve. Improved the weapons issued to the aces in Pirate Swarm mode. The number of missiles and countermeasures awarded from pickups in Arena Commander game modes have been lowered. Only currently dead players should be resurrected after a boss wave in multiplayer Pirate or Vandal Swarm. No additional lives will be provided. What is he doing?
I don't know.
Star Marine. Revenge kills and Resurgent awards have been removed for Star Marine for the moment. So whatever there is, there seems to be an issue with Revenge and Resurgent awards in both game modes. In-match loadout customization is now implemented. So this means that during a Star Marine match, when you die, in between each death, you can change your loadout, as opposed to
Yes.
waiting in between games.
Would the shotgun's not really working out well for me. I want to switch. So instead
the
of having to
laser
switch,
rifle.
instead of having to switch at your respawn and it's not there, and you're like, fuck, man, I want to use a different gun. Now you can just use it. So I really like.
I'm
that.
really interested to see how they're implementing that from a visual standpoint.
Yes, definitely.
Additional dialogue lines during matches have been added. FPS weapons have received a balance pass to improve viability, which is excellent.
I think they really wanted the shotgun and the sniper to become viable, and they were not at all. So I think what is the first weapon you're going to use? I think the first weapon I'm going to pick up is the shotgun.
Probably the shotgun. I miss it.
I love the sniper. It's just the maps aren't really good
They're
for
not
it. I don't
big
think.
enough for it. There's too many halls and close range stuff. That's the way I play, anyways. Added a plus
Same.
25 hemorrhage scoring bonus for causing another player to bleed. This bonus is not awarded if you cause yourself to bleed. Makes sense.
I love that they had to put that in. Because somebody was going to be like,
yeah. The spawn point for Marines in OP Station Demian has been moved. Added an additional route for players inside Echo 11.
Yeah, which means there's we got to find something on the map.
Yeah, there's going to be new map changes. In-game leaderboards are now implemented for both Arena Commander and Star Marine, so you can review your standings in any given game mode within the game client.
I just killed a guy. Did I go up in the leaderboards?
Yep. Instead of having to pull up another thing on another monitor or minimizing your game and checking it out that way. So that's
who's checking it. Oh my God.
I know. Spectator mode and camera changes. This is cool for content creators and people who just want to watch games. With 2.6.1, they've made vast improvements to camera behavior and allow players to enter our pure spectator mode. Pure spectator mode can now be entered through private lobbies by starting a match and checking the join a spectator box.
Did you catch that though?
Yes, private
lobbies
only.
Yep.
So this will be good for, say for example, Redacted wants to do a bracket tournament.
Tourney. Yeah.
Yeah, we can put the streamers in as cameras, and that's it.
Yeah, so you can't have your buddy go in and spectate the other team and be like, they're coming around the corner in Discord,
Yep.
So, good job. I think a lot of people were like, spectator mode, what the fuck? Can't be in public and all that. So, it's good to see.
And I think it should stay in private.
Absolutely.
There are new cinematic submodes available to spectator mode, including first-person view and focus action cam. Cinematic cameras in and out of pure spectator mode should now align with the player you are watching. This includes ensuring your target is facing upright and behaving appropriately when encountering walls or barriers. Cameras should now properly save and load views regardless of map and mode type, excluding Crusader. Advanced camera controls have been improved to be more precise and smoother in transition, and fixed an issue where players could not move or adjust their camera if they died while exiting their ship. All of these things are really exciting and all lend themselves really well to people who would like to see, and I'm one of them, Arena Commander and Star Marine go in more towards esports kind of stuff. And this just helps solidify that. I can't think of any games off the top of my head, and I'm sure they exist, I just don't know of them, that have these kind of camera controls for private matches and for things like that. I'm sure
to
make it entertaining to watch.
CS:GO and those things, they definitely have.
I think
that kind of stuff,
StarCraft does.
Yeah. The major esports games all do, because that's how they do these shows. That's how they do these tournaments. So I'm sure they took from those and said, this is good.
Yeah.
And added to it.
The Super Hornet has received a full visual update encompassing art, animation, damage states, and VFX. Ship weapons, mounts, and turrets have received a health buff, so they won't melt off your ship. The jerk levels of ships should now scale better with boost, so when you change direction and stuff like that, it shouldn't feel so on rails, I guess. The ship SCM speeds have been readjusted to provide a greater range of speed between ships, so now you're going to see less homogenization between all of the different ships, and they're going to start to feel different as well as look different. Projectile speeds have been tweaked so that targeting pips of different weapon types will be closer together for easier targeting.
That's one of the best
is,
things.
Which is really cool, yeah. So you won't
Yeah,
have
because-
a 6-inch difference, and you can only hit them with one weapon type.
Yeah.
The Retaliator, Starfarer, 85X have had a pass through improved interior culling and graphical performance. The Mustang series has had an optimization pass to improve graphical performance. It still needs a rework, though. Pilot, facial, and idle animations have been added for all ship variants. Technical stuff. Now, this is the stuff I'm really excited about. Two aspects of our ongoing network refactor have come online. The first iteration of serialized variables and the network message ordering. Serialized variables replaces some of the original aspects of CryEngine for handling data, aspects and class members, previously serialized by CryEngine net serialized calls. In simpler terms, it's a much more lightweight means of handling update messaging on the network, with reduced risk of updates being lost in caching or other processing, and reducing lag.
Yay.
Hallelujah. And then the strictly ordered network messaging moves the game away from the CryNetwork client server handling of network objects over to our new token system with a strict priority system for managing messaging between client and server nodes. So basically how those messages are sent and what priority are sent at, right? Do you need to know... I can't think of a good example, but maybe bullets are going to take priority over what way a person's head is facing, right? So if they're looking to the left or looking to the right or whatever, it's not as important as where their bullet is hitting or impacting and things like that. Also, Megamap. The new Megamap system allows for much quicker loading times when switching between maps. In this initial release, it will only be enabled for single-player maps, so Hangar and single-player Arena Commander. But we will be expanding this to include multiplayer maps in a future release. Multi-region servers. We now have servers available in the US, which they had before, Europe, and Australia. You can choose which region you'd like to connect to via an optional drop-down when connecting to a multiplayer instance. So I imagine this is going to be in the in-game UI. Selecting all will currently default to the US servers, but that will change as we build and improve upon the functionality of our region support. I saw that. That was close. I'm at bare feet, and that would hurt.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard the glass. The
catch
ice at the glass.
Yeah. Updates and fixes. So those are all the things that are new. So the updates and fixes we have in the Solar Systems Crusader, they fixed a number of lighting culling issues and Olisar Easy Hap. Fixed an issue where Crusader ASOP terminal would sometimes incorrectly provide an all pads are full message. This does not fix the issues where the landing pads are blocked by debris or from destroyed ships or full from disused ships not desspawning. But it does, if there's nothing there at all, it fixes that. And that's a big issue at Grimhex as well.
Yes.
Fix the missing audio for weapons shop door in Grimhex. Improve the atmospheric audio around Grimhex and the Crusader shops. Fix an issue with the Grimhex lift audio would play in continuous loops.
Oh, do you remember that?
Yep.
Did you ever have that one? Oh.
Remove the scavenging sites from the asteroids around the ICC probe mission 2. Fix a number of issues with missing audio for the yellow wreckage sites. In Area 18 and ArcCorp, NPCs and customs now have a selection of random animations instead of being very creepily synchronized. Game systems. First one's in Arena Commander for some general bug fixes. Pickups in Arena Commander should now scale based on distance from player rather than distance from the camera. Fix an issue where character's head would disappear after their ship was destroyed. Stage cameras for spectate mode in Arena Commander maps should now be correctly accessible. Fix an issue where players in Arena Commander games could not get into negatives on their score. There's also an issue fixed where ships damaged or kills via missiles were granting excessive scores. Audio cues have also been added for collecting pickups in squadron battle. In Old Vanderval, they fixed a number of shader issues that would trigger screen tearing before the first checkpoint. They removed an invincible antenna, I think invisible antenna, that protruded from buildings into the obvious race routes in Old Vanderval. I think they misused that.
I
Pirate,
mean, both are true.
yeah.
It's invisible and invincible.
I mean, all the buildings are invincible.
Yep.
Pirate and Vandal Swarm. So fix an issue where second Warlord would sometimes spawn in Vandal Swarm after Wave 3. Fix some issues with the Vandal Swarm AI flying into the map boundary too often. And Pirate Gladiators and Pirate Swarm now have the correct paint job. Now UI. Now with UI, we know they had a lot of issues, and we've seen them talk about all the different things that they've added to that. They've seemed to have gotten them all working. So fix an issue where the kill feed in Pirate Swarm would sometimes show the same kill twice. Fix the naming and numbering conventions for the AI points, or pilots, sorry, in Pirate Swarm. Fix an issue where completing Pirate Swarm Wave 18 would give the defeat message. And the UI for Arena Commander loadout customization has received a polish pass to clean up minor visual style problems and ensure consistent behavior. Now, one of the things I'm not sure, and they may touch on this later, is if they've removed, you know when you get killed by someone in Star Marine? And you leave the game and then that's it, and then it just follows you everywhere, that alert at the bottom. I wonder if they've fixed that. We'll find out.
Before you keep going, Luke Presley just popped in and said, can I just say that this is probably only 2/3 of the changes made? Some are just too small to mention, but do add up.
That's good to know.
Well, we also understand that there are a buttload of fixes and improvements in general.
Yeah.
With audio, they fixed an issue in OP Station Demian where external audio could be heard in the mess hall. The audio from Grenade Impact Collision has been made much more audible, as opposed to not at all. I added that myself. The audio for Grenade Hold, the cooking beep, has a smaller range. Didn't even know there was a cooking beep. Made a number of tweaks to footstep audio in Star Marine. Let's hope that you can't hear. Yeah.
At the beginning.
And it's like, even though there's nobody around you. Fix an issue where player death audio would play twice while in third person camera view. Fix an issue where respawning audio would play too soon. Star Marine simulation voices should now be correctly adjusted by the announcer audio option in-game menus. Fixed an issue where the audio in multiplayer matches would become corrupted in very large firefights, and you hear that especially on Echo 11.
Mm-hmm.
Some general bug fixes. They fixed an issue where dead players could sometimes continue capturing a point in Last Stand. Seems broken.
Have you ever done that? That never happened.
I don't.
You did it, Board? It never happened to me.
Yeah.
You know why? Because
I've been capturing points all day.
I don't die.
I don't play Last Stand.
There's a, you know, on C when you're on the map that works, when you see there's a grenade point that people can throw it up, so they will always kill you with a grenade. And if you run there immediately and try and capture it, you will get killed by a grenade. I've just gone, fuck it, I'm still going to capture. Long.
They fixed an issue with the explosive canisters in both Station Demian and Echo 11 would fall through the map after exploding.
You said earlier that you hadn't seen an explosive canister before.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were there.
I think they need to be labeled better because they look just like
Danger.
part of the set piece. Yeah, they need like danger stripes on them or something. Fix an issue where a match would go into a fourth round if one round in Last Stand had ended in a draw, even if the other two rounds had been won by the same team. Made some changes to Death Camera in Star Marine to prevent instances of the cameras going through collision or the player body. Fix a number of small collision issues with props around OP Station Demian. Awesome. Fix an issue where light sources on Echo 11 would sometimes follow players around in EVA. Made many small audio tweaks throughout Station Demian. Idle audio for the Medipen dispensers in Echo 11 have been added to match those on Station Demian. Fixed some issues with projectile bounce and ricochet in Echo 11. Many cosmetic art updates.
I thought the bullets went through the walls.
Many cosmetic art updates and tweaks have been added to Station Demian and Echo 11, and I'm sure some of those will be more obvious than others. Fix an issue where the radar and weapon sights would not reappear after respawn in Star Marine. So I know a lot of people were having issues with weapon sights. I never had that issue personally, but I know a lot of people complained about it, so that's good to know. Loadout customization. They fixed an issue where the loadout customization would sometimes lock players out from entering a private match. Another one where all the weapon images were missing scopes in the loadout customization page. Another one where players could quickly toggle between the teams and end up in the loadout of the opposite team. Another one where players could acquire 2 or more primary weapons on a light loadout if the drop action was interrupted prematurely. The submarine models in the loadout editor now move and scale more appropriately for the screen resolution. The scoreboard and leaderboard has fixed an issue where the scoreboard would remember the number of kills between rounds, allowing players to get a revenge kill at the start of a round. Oh,
I've seen that.
that's probably why they've removed revenge kills and things for the time being. Players will now be correctly penalized for suicide, even if they've been recently damaged by an enemy. UI, so UI notifications for control points having been taken or lost in last stand are much more prominent.
Oh, that'll be cool. So like okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It'll still be the same, but it's more prominent. I was
It'll
thinking
set
like
up.
on your helmet,
Yeah.
like something
It
happening
may.
with
It
A
may
would look
just
cool.
pop it
could
up.
be.
Score notifications now appear when a character suicides, so you'll see when character suicides.
Cool.
Made the friendly hostile player indicator, known colloquially as the Dorito, less immediately visible.
Great.
And fixed a number of issues where the indicator for hostile players was visible despite no line of sight.
Did you guys call it the Dorito then?
I never
never
called it
did.
the Dorito.
No.
They must call it the
They
Dorito at
must
work.
do it, yeah.
Internally.
I still feel that you should have it over friendly players only. But that's just me. Grenade indicator now appears as soon as a nearby grenade is armed, not just when it is thrown. I don't know how I feel about that. We're going to have to wait and see how the grenade indicators work
Yes.
with the
It's
sounds.
getting game.
Players who are dead at the end of a round will now be able to quickly see the results of the scoreboard. Yes! I know that was a thing. Like, especially if you're going and being really aggressive near the end of the game. If you died, it wouldn't let you pull up the scoreboard. And you just see respawn. Fixed an issue where grenades were missing from visor HUDs. Okay, so now we'll see how many grenades you have on your HUD.
Yeah.
Social module. Parties formed for private Star Marine and Arena Commander matches should now persist match to match rather than break up after a single match. Thank
That's
you.
great.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Because now you don't have to go through and wait 10 minutes for people to accept, right? They'll just automatically be
Yeah.
in there and you can add and people can leave as they want.
I hated that one.
Yeah, that was really annoying. So that's a really big deal. Chat will now work correctly inside of Arena Commander and Star Marine lobbies. Fix an issue where all contacts would appear as online inside of a Star Marine lobby, regardless of their actual status. That's good. So now we can actually see who's online and just invite our random friends if we want to.
All right, now listen to this one. So Toby Tej in chat asked Luke Presley if they fixed if you've gone into the PU recently, when you get out of your ship tends to spin a lot.
Yep.
That did not make that. It did not make it into this patch. So Luke said, "Do you mean them rotating when you leave? If so, then no. Sadly, it isn't fixed and makes me sad. Me too, but it's good to know.
Good to know.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you for letting us know.
No.
Fix an issue where all players could talk or type in the chat window even when it appeared disabled and hidden. This caused a number of issues with players losing control of their character during the match. Fix an issue where the /@ignore would not correctly ignore tells from the ignored player. I could see how that would be annoying. Fix an issue where accepting a party invite to Star Marine or Arena Commander match would not correctly pull the player from the PU or hangar. Fix an issue where players could not accept or decline a game invite while on the Arena Commander loadout editor screen. With ships, some ships had unlimited and near instant acceleration in decoupled mode. This has been fixed. Fix an issue where Rattler missiles would fail to deploy the rockets. I saw that many times. Fix an issue where players would hear the ship startup audio on respawn if they died while piloting the Saber Comet, Valiant, Wildfire, or the Renegade.
Oh, just the new ones. Oh,
Yeah.
How weird.
Fix an issue where the self-destruct audio siren would sometimes not trigger, so you wouldn't hear That's Siren.
I've had that happen.
Fix an issue where the look reticle would incorrectly reappear after cycling cameras, even if a gimbal lock was active. With individual ships, the 300 series, size 1 to 3 missile racks can now be equipped on the 300 series, 300, 315, and 325 variants as appropriate for the respective available hardpoints. The 85X has fixed an issue where the pilot arms would look highly stretched or out of position from the flight yoke. The Argo, which we don't even have yet, fixed an issue where the interior cockpit glass would reflect the exterior environment.
We have the Argo.
Oh, right. I was thinking of the vehicle.
The Dragonfly.
No, not the Dragonfly. The six-wheeled.
Oh, Zarova.
The Urza. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's because they. Yeah. Aurora fixed an issue where landing gear would disappear instead of going through the correct retraction animations. All Aurora variants can equip size 1 to 4 missiles as appropriate for the respective available hardpoints. Caterpillar. Certain ship animations could be interrupted prematurely, causing some issues with doorways and elevators. This has been fixed.
Can we carry one size 4 missile on the Aurora now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my ideas.
Yeah. Fixed a number of animation issues with the rear turret of the Caterpillar. Made some changes to the VFX flashes of the Caterpillar shields being hit for better pilot visibility. Because I guess if you got hit on the right side, you wouldn't see it as a pilot. Fix an issue where the interior of the ship would seem to disappear when looking back into the ship from Cargo Module 1. Constellation Phoenix. This is the most important patch note in the entire game. The toilet can now be accessed. Cutlass Black. Improve the audio mix for the thrusters. And fix a number of issues with missing collision audio for the Cutlass. Freelancer fixed an issue where the UI prompt to open the slide door on the ship and the prompt to climb the ladder were both missing. On the Gladius, they fixed a number of collision issues with the pilot's left arm. With the Herald, they fixed an issue where the interior of the ship would disappear if you stood in a specific location. All of the Hornets were fixed where the bottom maneuvering thrusters were invisible, and where the exhaust over the top rear right maneuvering thruster was misaligned. The P-52 Merlin added missing thruster deactivation audio. The Vandal Scythe fixed an issue where the cockpit audio was out of sync with the entry and startup animations. All of the Vanguards were fixed where the viz areas in a map would be visible when viewed through a cockpit window, and when the interior lighting of the Vanguard Warden and Hoplite were part of the exterior prefab. The Hoplite fixed an issue where the right-hand weapon and Vanguard turret wasn't pitching or animated correctly. In first person, bullets should now appropriately penetrate limbs to hit other targets in applicable situations.
Yes.
Projectile mass has been lowered to prevent shooting corpses around. Okay.
Cool.
Fix an issue to where one player could shoot the gun of another player if they both picked up the gun at the same time. Interesting.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Fix an issue where the gun magazine could become offset if the character was looking around excessively while reloading. Fix an issue where sprint would not continue if shift was held while transitioning in and out of EVA.
That would happen.
Yeah, because then you'd have to let go and then do it again.
Yeah.
Fix an issue where character animations would break while trying on clothing. Okay. I wonder if we're going to get the reloading animation fixed. Weapon in combat. Fix an issue where combat signals would animate it in contorted ways while holding an energy rifle. Another one with low cover pistol animations for characters. Another one where character models would stretch and warp while unholstering and entering ragdoll. Fix another issue where hit reactions would play for damage taken by bleed out. Fix an issue where a character would be locked into aim down sights if they transitioned out of EVA while aiming down sights. General animations. Fix an issue where players could pass through a wall by vaulting over a nearby object. Players will now be blocked from vaulting if they would land inside of geometry. That's good. Fix an issue with animations when a character would heal while on a ladder. Fix an issue where character faces would continue animating after death. That would be amusing to see. Cleaned up the leg animation transitions when a character jumps while moving. Fix an issue where rolling while prone in the third-person camera would cause excessive camera rotation. It didn't talk about it, and I don't know if it's been fixed or not. Maybe Luke can chime in on this. But reloading while walking and transitioning into running would stop the reloading animation. And the reloading from happening, I really want that to be fixed. So hopefully that's been fixed. They didn't mention that here. Fix an issue where the mouse cursor was offset from the actual visual location whenever client screen resolution was not at 16:9. Fix an issue where the ship computer verbosity and the audio options would reset after a client restart. Players can now disable the cinematic missile chase camera in the game options menu. Before it just wasn't working. Game settings and cinematic cameras. Added a warning message when lobby or party invite is sent to a player who is already in a lobby. Fix an issue where the switch teams button was present in private matches even when the game mode was not set for a team game. The updated pause escape menu has been implemented. And on the player HUD, we have trying on a flight suit or armor in the shops will no longer cause the first-person HUD to start floating. Where the helmet radar would disappear after exiting a vehicle. Where several armor suits had 2 radar displays hooked up. Where pressing F10 while dead would result in the character and helmet disappearing. We fixed the Mobi-Glass visor so it would no longer clip out of frame at different resolutions. Fixed an issue where viewing the Mobi-Glass in third person would make the player's head and helmet disappear. Where the HUD warning for an incoming missile would not disappear. How long did that take? The missile warning? Spam?
That was brutal. So I was streaming and Luke was there, and it was happening while I was streaming, and we're like, Luke, is this one of the things that you guys are working on? Like this was actually the day. Remember the day a few weeks ago when Luke popped in and said, "What are a few minor fixes that we can put in for 261?" And it was like, I don't know how minor this is because it's been here forever, but can we please do this? It's incredibly game breaking because you never know when a missile is being shot at you. Then it's really annoying.
No,
especially when you end up with like 4, then it's really hard to tell when a missile is being fired at you.
Exactly.
So he was like, I'm going to go check on that. So thank you. I think we owe Luke, for that being in there, we owe Luke.
Get
like
some high fives in chat for Luke.
Yeah. Thank you, dude.
God
damn.
Yeah, that one's been around for a long time. Fix an issue where players could not move or adjust their camera if they died while exiting their ship. Key bindings. Coupled and decoupled space break can now be bound to separate or the same key binding based on user preference. They are not automatically bound to the same key. Prone and crouch can now work together as a toggle or hold, and the key binding for both can be added in key bindings again. So you could just make it X, press it once to crouch, hold it to lay down. Is my understanding from that. Fix an issue where players could not crouch on the default Xbox 360 control mapping. Only Chris Roberts cares about that. Technical. Fix an issue where players would sometimes load into Star Marine Elimination with a persistent black screen. Fix the number of client crashes in Arena Commander, Star Marine, Crusader, and Hangar. Fix the number of server crashes. Fix the number of performance issues related to the Drake Caterpillar. And made a cleanup pass on graphic detail levels for the Broken Moon map to improve performance.
Nice.
So that is the end of the 261 patches. Now you said is the 261 PTU is out? Is that correct?
It is currently available for download. That is correct.
Yeah, but you're an Evocati.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Evocati.
I'm first wave and it's not there.
I'm starting to think that it is Evocati. I would have bet $1 million that it wasn't.
It is
'Cause
probably.
Yeah,
everyone
I don't-
said no.
I just refreshed
first-
my account settings and I don't have PTU.
It makes very much sense for even small patches for it to have a small Evocati, even if it's just the first patch for the first
For a
day.
few hours.
Yeah.
What if they put it for Evocati and are like, okay, this is good, and then just open it to everybody?
My launcher
I mean,
also did not
it's like-
update.
That's very likely if there's.
My launcher did update.
Okay, mine did not.
Okay, so I think it is Evocati.
I mean, well, I'm assuming it's available for download just because of client version the client versions changed.
Yeah,
to
I
that
still
patch.
have 260.490.789, and I do
Okay.
not have. However, before up until yesterday, I had live and PTU. I no longer have PTU available or live. It's just the one.
Yeah.
Merged into one, or maybe just don't have access to the game anymore. So they're like, we're fed up of him.
Yep.
He's gone.
Interesting.
Probably.
Don't play Conan. Lol, lol, lol.
I do like that they released the patch notes and we're okay with putting it on Evocati after that though.
Yeah. So that.
I mean, do we think that the patch notes were released properly, or do we think that it was an accident?
Well, it was definitely an accident this morning,
Okay. I
'Cause
mean,
they
I
took it
like
down.
the idea of them releasing
but
patch
they're
notes.
up again.
Okay, they're up again. Cool.
Yeah, they're just revised. So they're on Spectrum. You can look at them on Spectrum PTU properly now. And they changed a little bit. But, I mean, yeah. So, Turbulent referred to it as Evocati. Yeah, Source mentioned that before. That's a little bit of a bummer. If it's on Evocati, then it's obviously not streamable or anything like that. So we wait till it goes first wave PTU. So,
I'll be-
yeah.
oh,
But
I'm
it's-
looking forward
it's-
to getting testing them.
it's
testing
here.
those things.
It's here. There's a little something in the PU. Hopefully, Star Marine is improved. And then I think maybe this patch is the patch that we can really say that Star Marine is
Well,
officially
now we can.
here.
Yeah, and we can start
It's
looking
play- we
at
can play
actual balance stuff now instead of
Yeah.
worrying about lag. Hopefully, fingers
And-
crossed.
Hopefully, yeah, of course. I'm assuming there'll still be some lag.
No more lag. Everyone's gonna have 0 pings. It's gonna be perfect. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the best thing ever to work. Just don't. It's not. That's not hype. That's confirmed. 1 second. 1 second.
Are you confirming it right now?
I was
Confirmed.
confirming it now. Okay, man.
I am going to jump into questions now, unless you guys want
Yeah.
to add any other talking points.
Nah, man. It's question time. I'm a little bummed out that it's Evocati. I thought it was
Yeah, I'm
going
a little
PTU.
bummed out too. I was really excited to play that.
Well, it makes sense, even if it's just like, let's make sure
For a
that the
couple
capture
hours.
works.
What if it's for a
Let's
couple
make-
hours?
If
I
it's a
hope
couple
that's how it
hours,
is.
then that's okay. If it's for a couple days, then that's. I mean,
I'd be
that's
sad.
standard practice, but I'd be sad because I really want to get back into streaming Star Citizen. Right now, I
Actually,
just
before
can't.
we go on, what's left for 262?
Nothing.
Toby just asked that.
Nothing.
Whoa. So
The-
There's some
multiplayer,
stuff.
No, the
multiplayer mega map.
but that can come with 3.0.
No, they need to test out before then.
Do they? I
Yeah,
always
so-
thought that the single player I thought that they added some things that weren't supposed to be in 2.6, but everything that was supposed to be in 2.6 is now in.
So what I'd expect to see in a 2.6.2 patch would be a multiplayer mega map, would be further improvements and iterations on the networking stuff with serialized variables and stuff that they will need to change and edit. I would expect to see more AWS servers come online, loads and loads more bug fixes. I mean, they're mostly quality of life updates, but also further balance to the flight model and to Afterburner and to weapons and stuff like that. Expect to see a similar patch. That would be my expectation.
Fair enough. Our first question is from Ethan101. What profession in the PU do you think will make the most UEC and why?
Oh God.
The one that
It depends
you
on how good you are.
are good at?
Like, piracy can literally do it if you're really good at pirating
Mhm.
or really good at dogfighting or whatever, you know. But I think like most games, trading is probably one of the bigger ones. It's just kind of boring, time consuming, right? But it might be good.
Yeah.
If Star Citizen does it right, that question would be irrelevant.
This is a question that is going to be answered
Is
when the
2
game
years
is out.
from now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and is going to be what most people are going to be focused on.
Yeah.
I would
They'll
say that
expect a lot of videos on this.
Yeah.
It's likely to change quite dynamically and regularly because of the not just balance, but
What about where you are in the
because-
verse?
Yeah, so it's going to be dynamic economy as well. So it's going to change from being cargo to being some combat missions. Your missions aren't just there is this mission to do. You can't make a video on there is this mission to do because the missions are partly dynamic. They're going to be
Yeah.
different for everyone. So you can look at and explore it what is reasonable and what is likely to expect, but you can't do those kind of extreme meta videos where you say this is this and this is this because you can't do it in the same way. There's no absolutes. So it's going to be interesting, and there's going to be a great amount of videos to do on it. But I also think that the professions will probably be relatively well balanced, so that the amount of time you put into them is the amount of money you get out of them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to do that, isn't it, with multi-crew and groups of people, and it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Lazy Panda says, if you could sit down with any of the developers and ask any question, who would you choose and what would you ask? And then he goes on to say, P.S. board, please do a stun reload animation for us again. I don't know what that means.
What is that? What's the stunned reload animation?
Yeah.
What, like... I don't know what you want from me.
I don't know what's going on.
I remember that. Yeah.
But if you could sit with any of the developers and ask any question, who would you choose and what would you ask?
Oh God. If you asked me like 6 months ago, I'd say Tony.
Yeah.
But now I think Tony, like when he talks, I think it's a little farther off than.
I would want to talk to the network guys and see how far along they are and what. I would. It would be more of a discussion than a question, but sort of see what they think is actually viable for the amount of players that they expect to see in a certain instance and things like that, and how they're going to make that come to fruition.
Honestly, this is a little brown nosy, maybe, but I've been or maybe Pashi or something. I've been fortunate enough to speak to most of the devs up to this point, right?
Yeah.
But one of the ones that I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and ask questions to is like Luke Presley and Danny Reynolds, who are in the chat all the time. But like I would love to sit down one day and hang out, have a drink, and chat about Star Citizen one day with them. So I think that'd be my answer.
I mean,
did they ask what we would ask?
Yeah,
just any question.
When is the Banu Merchantman coming out?
No. It would be Aaron. I would ask Aaron and say, so when is Squadron 42 and 3.0 coming out? Because he is the man that is the he's realistic about that. Or Todd Pappy and say, so is there going to be a 2.7 and what's going to be in it?
Why did you say 2.7, Todd? Because he's got my head all messed up now. Like I really believe it's a thing. A lot of people don't. Sense. I really believe it's a thing.
It makes sense to have a 2.7 patch and a 3.4 patch.
It'd be stupid not to.
It would be stupid not to.
If it's that far off, it'd be stupid not to give a little.
Otherwise, you're going to have like a 2-month Evocati period.
Conan better be good. A couple months from now, they better do some Conan updates, or I'm going to be a one bored streamer.
Yep. It's like, yes. C Dizzle says, what do you think the biggest or most important thing coming in 2.6.1 that was detailed in the patch notes? Netcode stuff. 100%.
Netcode. Yeah.
100%.
Netcode
Not even a question.
The fix of the arms eating up damage.
Yeah.
That's another big one. Other than that,
the netcode and the server stuff. Even though the server stuff doesn't affect me personally, it's going to affect those with the 300, 400, 200 ping.
Yeah, Australians.
Yeah.
More in-region servers, but also the SCM and projectile speeds being adjusted, probably quite big.
One.
I assume
we can use all the weapons now, probably. Like weapons aren't going to go unused now.
The desync's been fixed. We don't know.
We don't know.
Don't assume.
Well, I'm assuming that those networking things fix them, but we have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah.
I fucking run around and I start fucking desyncing, and everyone pauses for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Or if I shoot at somebody and they all hit, and they're showing on my screen as they all hit, and I go through a whole fucking magazine, and then I get one shot and died, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, true. Mass Effect Andromeda's coming out.
Yep.
I don't care about 2.7 anymore.
Oxize.
And Helion, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one.
Interested to try that out. When is PTU available for everyone? Right now it's for Evocati.
We're hoping later. We're not devs, so if you're asking that question thinking that we're developers,
who's in chat right now?
We're not
devs.
devs.
Luke.
Yeah, Luke. When's
PTU coming out?
Luke should know that. Luke should know. that
Proxus.
stuff.
Where's Proxus?
Proxus is with Luke.
Oh, yeah. The Proxus, Luke. Yo, sup, guys? Yeah, we don't know. It's only a guess on our end now.
I don't know if they know it right now because they got to see how everything works, right?
Yeah. Waiting. No, I'm not seeing any messages from them. Give it a 30
No.
seconds or so. Morph
No.
says,
Ignored.
"Hey guys, I think the soundtrack show was one of the most exciting things they showed in a long time. In the end,
Glad.
they create something game-changing. What I would like to know is what they are planning on giving orgs for the building bases. We have no idea. We don't know what's going on with that. If they're
That's
going
one
to
of
be
those things
prefabricated and already on the planets,
Or if
or
we're even going to have them.
So
Yeah.
one of the things I will be asking appropriate members on my studio tour is about bases, is about survival, is about the planetary mechanics.
and you're going to get a
Like,
big
let's get
fat
a clear
NDA stamp
answer.
on your forehead. Boom! And you're not going to be able to talk about it.
Not if I put it in slyly during an interview.
Oh, during
And
the
they'll be
interview.
like, well, we can't talk
Just need to
about
word them right. You just need to word them right. Not if Aaron comes out and has a drink, it will all be fine. Don't you worry. We'll get some juicy goss.
The last time Aaron had a drink, you told me something, and it's still and it's coming soon, and it still hasn't happened yet.
I also almost, last time Aaron had a drink, we almost saw mine and his Todger
Yeah.
in the.
Yeah, well, by we,
'Cause I was
by
drunk
we, board means me.
Saurus.
He's like, yeah, I'll call you on Skype. Where are you, dude? I'm in the bathroom. And then he's
Taking a
like,
piss.
oh, hey, did you see Aaron? He's at the fucking urinal behind me. I'm like, oh my god.
I was
Good
such
thing
a
I'm not
dick. I
streaming
was like,
this.
do you want to go say hello to Sandy? And you were like, yeah. And I pointed at Sandy, and she looked up, and I went, she doesn't like you. I just walked up. I'm such a drunken monster. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
my god.
I'm so sorry. That was so fun.
Uh,
More
ca-
of that, please.
Commander Riker says, with previous videos showing the tractor beam on the Caterpillar, what game build do you think this will be debuted, and how will tractor beams change the game? Outside of moving cargo around in space, what do you wish the tractor beam gameplay would eventually be? Just moving things around in space. That's the whole point of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the cool thing about it is you can push and pull with the tractor
Yeah.
beams in Star Citizen. So that'll be like the one different thing. It's not like hold a button and everything is like and comes right to you,
Yeah.
which is good.
It'd be cool to see it interact with ships and stuff like that, as well as like mining resources and cargo.
Like other gameplay. Oh, he asked when do we think it'll come? It has to come when they drop mining, but it could come before then for stuff like cargo.
For cargo.
Like they did tell us the initial cargo release would be
3.0,
it would
right?
it would 3.0 and it would snap, but the cargo would you would buy it and it would snap into
It would
your
just
ship.
appear, yeah.
It would appear and disappear as you sold and bought it. Since it's so far off now, they're basically getting another fucking year at this thing than what we expected is what we're thinking, right? We're already in
So who
February.
knows
we're not
what they're
expecting
able
it
to
for another
squeeze in.
4+ months. To exactly, who knows what they might be able to squeeze in? Exactly, they might be able to put something like that in.
I mean,
So we'll see.
they brought in the Caterpillar much earlier than we anticipated, right?
Yeah.
They brought in the Herald.
And 85X and
Mhm.
a lot of things. So
Commander Riker also goes on to ask, hey guys, survival mechanics PlanetSide has been polarizing lately. I could care much less about PlanetSide survival in comparison to survival gameplay mechanics in space. Life support systems and proper planning of ship supplies, food, fuel, water, and spare parts seems to fit the universe of survival gameplay in Star Citizen instead of floppy dongs in space. What kind of space survival mechanics are you looking forward to, and when do you foresee it being added to the game?
Oxygen is the only one that I'm looking forward to because it's the only one that we've seen that is definitely a positive going to happen because we've seen it on the HUDs on the helmets
Yeah.
in the events that they did. But after playing games like DayZ and Floppy Dong, I don't want to be. I don't like.
You
every
don't want it
20
to be
minutes,
like a
food
yeah,
check.
Yeah,
Did you guys eat? Have you drank?
yeah.
Like,
I don't want any
God,
of
Those
that
are-
shit.
they're
It's
I don't
always-
want any of that shit in any game that I play regularly. It's fucking annoying.
They're just it's too fast. Like you don't die from thirst in a day. right? Let alone
Yeah.
food. You can literally live for 2 weeks at least without
I mean, in Conan,
eating.
you're in a desert. You could die
Yeah,
in a day, but
not from
still.
not eating.
not from not eating.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
What is
so,
it with survival games and floppy dongs?
I don't know.
Why is that a thing now? It's just synonymous with survival game.
it's
Survival
pretty-
game, I got a big dong. Or
I
tiny
do
dong,
like the
guess.
fact that there's, you kill somebody and there's a dick standing in front of you, and you're kind of, it's not that big of a deal anymore. I do.
It
I
has
don't.
The
desensitized us to
Yeah, it's a little
dicks.
desensitizing, which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. We all have one, unless you're the 50% of the population that doesn't.
51%.
Oh shit!
They're taking over, dude.
Oh my god, we're in the minority now. We're in the minority group.
We've always been. There's always been more girls than guys.
2 weeks ago, this is from Pepe UK. You had a discussion over how to implement a large number of hangars into the landing zone. Imagine a large building containing 10 single hangar modules connected via a central tunnel or hub, 5 modules on each side. Every player could deploy his ship from the hangar, having limited time to do so. Let's say they have 1 minute, like land and
Okay.
takeoff slots at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
After depart and land slot expires, another player could use the same space. That's 100 departures landings every 10 minutes. Do you think this virtual hangar idea would work, or perhaps it would be too immersion breaking?
I think it could work.
No, I think they're going to handle it like slightly instantized-ish. You know what I mean? By taking them into
Yeah.
a garage. I still stand by what I said last time, because although it would be cooler to have it like real and like what they just said, I just don't think they need to. Why make your job harder?
Yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
complicating things for the sake of complicating things.
Make stuff
And-
cooler, but they don't need to do that shit.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how they're gonna tackle that.
Hopefully sensibly.
Mhm. Maybe they have an idea that we haven't even thought of. That they're like, "Hey, these guys
Yeah.
are so dumb."
I hope
How could
they
they
do.
not? I
think they
hope
do
they
that
have those
regularly.
ideas.
Pesmet said, "Do you think CIG implement more diversity in the ship's attributes, faster, slower speed, faster, slower turn rates, etc.? They all seem to feel the same at the moment." Yep, it's in this patch.
They agree with you, and it's in this patch.
Mhm.
Yep. So you're going to see more disparity between the SCM speeds of ships.
Pepe UK says, "I do not play Arena Commander often. I jump in every time a new patch releases, so I'm not a pro. I repetitively get the impression that damage to my ship lacks visual and sound cues. I only notice being hit by energy weapons when my shield flickers. Do you get similar impressions?"
It is not easy to tell when you're getting shot at.
We definitely need some sort of warning lights that are flashing. I know some ships have it, but some sort of warning lights that are flashing, even in a single player ship, have some
They-
things that say you've taken damage or damage to whatever that flash up as well.
They definitely have all the cool sound effects. They are there,
Mhm.
and they will be being implemented. There is a slight issue with desync and stuff, which would mean that if you have the audio cues and they're slightly desynced from either what's happening,
You'd probably
or
die before
the
it.
or the damage that's happening.
Hmm.
So you might get it, and it might be when it looks like it hits you. It's still going to feel weird. Those audio cues, if they don't match up perfectly with the network stuff, it's going to feel really fucking weird. You're going to notice stuff a lot more that you wouldn't previously have noticed. So I think that the networking stuff needs to really be there before the cool audio effects that you could technically play the game by. If you closed your eyes, you'd be like, you'd be able to feel around.
Mhm.
That it needs to be there. Otherwise, it's just desynced audio that you're like, for fuck's sake, and just enrages you more.
Especially when you're getting hit from behind.
Yeah.
Like the side, sometimes your shield will flicker enough that you can be like, oh shit, I'm getting shot. But when you get hit from behind,
You can't see it.
it's very difficult to tell.
Yeah. There needs to be something that pops up that's telling you your shield's getting damaged.
Yes.
On your HUD.
sync.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Conan
Conan,
Ryu
yawn.
For a long time.
Conan.
Kandaryu
Ugh.
says, "Why do you think that just because the Mega Map is going to be single player only in the early build, that it's going to be single player only when it goes to live? From what I figure, they could use it in Evocati to test the Mega Map to figure out how to do it in a multiplayer by the time it goes to Open PTU. Maybe.
I don't think they're planning on keeping it to Evocati that long. I really expected this to go straight to PTU. I think this is not intended to be an Evocati for more than today. So I think
Okay.
that answers the question. But if it does end up in Evocati for a while, then sure, why not? If they figure it out that quickly, but just remember, multiplayer stuff takes a lot longer.
NK Sharp says, and this is our last question. Do you think the game will actually comfortably support? I lied. There's one more question. Support larger orgs, in that the game is supposed to be somewhat tough, and with the current majority of orgs letting in anybody, do you think that will be a hindrance to when the game is closer to launch? Personally, I expect, and this is him saying, he expects a lot of larger orgs to crumble if they can't sort out their revenue. I think there'll be tools in game to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, they're
It's
gonna have to. It's gonna be a sloppy mess if there's not.
There'll be a
There's
lot of
so
automated
much
systems.
to manage. Yeah, they need to be automated.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of that because it's CIG. I mean, that's the sort of thing they look at eventually. So I suspect that you will be able to have an org tax. It will be per mission or per money that you earn. There'll be lots of cool tools.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and that may even go as granular as what the tax is for the different roles of players, what are in that org, how the org pays out to people, how they have to do that with all of the ships and the ship privileges and everything as well. So I don't see why they wouldn't do that with currency. Twerk,
Yeah.
wake up!
I'm sorry, I'm struggling.
I'm fucking
okay.
shattered as well.
my lack of sleep is catching up to me now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Girin says, we have personally seen the Constellation of Killers ready for a long time. Why do you think we're not getting it? He says, I mean, the Dragonfly and Ursas are also ready, but I suppose they're waiting to release those two with planets. But what could hold the Aquila? Same thing. What's different from the Aquila to the normal Constellation? Nothing really, except for the exploration stuff. And the exploration stuff doesn't come in until 3.0. So that's why. I imagine it's probably ready to go. But the same thing with the Dragonfly, right? We know the Dragonfly is ready to go, but it's not in because of there's not a real use for it yet. So they want to debut it with 3.0. So yeah, that wraps it up for our questions today. Borg, why don't you tell us what you're up to and where people can find you?
You can find me on Board Gamer UK pretty much everywhere on the internet, whether it be YouTubes or Twitches or Twitters or on the redacted.tv stuff. You can see lots of my posts there, all that sort of jazz. And if you want to check out Patreon as well, because you're like, what's on Board Gamer's Patreon? It's pretty similar to that. But I will be going to the Foundry 42 UK offices on Friday. To ask questions, to go a studio tour, to hopefully find some bits and bobs out that I am allowed to talk about. And I'll probably signal using some form of clever vandal facial signals what I actually saw there. So watch my videos for that. We're going to do a Bar Citizen there afterwards from about 6 p.m. at the Old Dancer just down the road in Winslow, Manchester. So if you're around, come down to that. It should be good. If you've got any questions for people, if I see relevant people, I will ask us questions. Go on to the forum thread, which I will post in the video description and in the chat in a second while someone else is talking, because I will find it. Check that out. Put your questions there. If I find someone relevant, I will ask that question to them. I will also film it, or well, at least record it with a little dictaphone thing. I bought a good one.
Yeah. And
I'm going to be this week, other than doing that, focusing on some other random Star Citizen topics that I want to do. But it will be based on whatever I find hyped during the day. I'll be like, I really want to talk about this topic. Less Conan, maybe a little bit of Conan. I'm going to look at.
I think we'll pop in every now and then. If I come home, I might play it at night a little bit.
I don't need to do the extreme leveling I was doing before now because I'm max level.
Yeah, I'm 20 away, so.
Yeah. But I will be looking at something that I would like to do with the Redacted community and the Star Citizen community as well in general, which will be looking at doing something maybe like once every month. So throughout a month, we play a game like Conan. And at the end of that month, and when we'd have goals and we'd set rules and everything, and it'd be bam, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I think we'll do it right this time.
Yeah, we
jumped into this one.
Groups.
Feed
or maybe
in,
we'd jump into a server all together and all work together to attack someone or do something. But then at the end of that month we change game, so it would be like Conan, then Ark, then Rust, and we do it from month to month. So even if you had a shitty time, you'd be like, well, we're
Next
only doing it
month.
for a month.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that with the redacted server. We can
Yeah.
play around with it.
I'll talk to people and I'll make sure I get everything the way I want it, and the way that I think it will work with the community. And I want to start doing like community events on servers as well. Like I'd love to build an arena as an admin and have Matachi and Twerk fight through an army of dragons or something like that we can do. So stay tuned for that in the future. What about you, Twerk? What are you up to this week?
Hold on. Luke wants to know, will you take a picture with Luke?
Yeah. So
And then we can put it on the internet and be like, who's
How much
who?
will it cost him, though? How much is it going to
yeah.
cost?
So as long as he's a Patreon or sub, it's fine. Yeah,
Otherwise, it's
I only-
$15, right?
I only give
Yeah.
It's around
And an extra
$15
$25 for you to sign it.
Well,
You guys think I'm
knows the
kidding.
costs.
You guys think I'm kidding. That's,
Of course I have it. Of course, Luke. I love you, Luke. Mwah. You have to remind me who you are.
I want to see tongue in that picture.
You'll see a bit of tongue.
Yeah.
You'll see a bit of tongue.
Oh,
What about you, Twerk,
God.
before I embarrass myself any further.
I don't know. I'm going to be definitely jumping into 261 whenever they allow us to stream it. I'll obviously probably download the patch and run some errands, and then come back and Evocati test as much as possible before I go to sleep. But the other thing is Lola's hurt, so I got to figure out what's going on with her. When I got done with my stream, I went and pet her, and she was kind of like, and then was limping around a little bit. So I called the vet, and they were like, no, there's definitely nothing's broken, but maybe you should bring her in. And it kind of felt like they were like trying to get me in to make some money, like every fucking doctor does.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give her today, because as I'm on the phone with the vet, it's almost like she knew she was coming to the vet. And as I'm on the phone with the vet, she just goes zoom, zoom, and starts running past me. And I'm like, she doesn't want to go to the vet. I see how it is. So, but she's definitely really tender on her right, like back leg, like the back part of her back leg. I don't know what the fuck happened. She was fine before I went to sleep. I wake up and she's not. I move a lot when I sleep. Maybe I kicked
I was
her.
going to say, you probably rolled over
Yeah.
onto her or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, we got to finish Mass Effect 2. I got to get into Mass Effect 3.
How you going
I
to
have
fit
to
that
be
with all
under-
that Conan?
I'm done with. We're not done with Conan, but I'm done with it the way I've been grinding it. And then Undertale I have to finish as well.
Undertale's a great game.
Ben Pest donated Undertale. I started playing it 2 Mondays ago, and I definitely got to play it. It's not my kind of game, but it is pretty funny, so I've been enjoying it. So
Right
yeah,
on.
that's it for me.
And people can find you where?
At twitch.tv/twerk17, at twerk17 gaming on Twitter and YouTube. YouTube's kind of dead for me right now, but
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
I just don't have
It's
the
not, it's
time.
not dead for everyone. Don't worry, guys. It's still there.
I keep saying I don't have that kind of time, and then I played
30
Conan
hours.
for-
Of,
I played
no.
90 hours of Conan in 7 days.
90 hours.
30
90
hours and
hours.
24 hours.
So how about this? I don't feel like making the time for YouTube right now. It's a little too much.
Fair enough.
Trying to live that life, man. Trying to live. So sticking to Twitch mostly, but I will work on YouTube as much as I can.
All right. For myself, I'm going to be playing some Star Citizen, some Conan, and doing some cooking streams. I'm looking for other games. Like one of the games I'm looking forward to checking out soon is Prey from Bethesda.
Oh, the new Prey remake. Yes.
Yeah. So space game from Bethesda. Really excited for that. There's a couple other things coming down the pipeline for that stuff. Getting ready for PAX East. And doing all of that
we
stuff.
we need to talk.
I know we need to figure that out really.
keep forgetting, yeah.
soon. I'm gonna be
Like
playing
tomorrow,
some.
maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing some Star Marine right after this.
Hopefully
then-
the last time
Right, it's the last time before
in the state
261.
that it's in. Yeah.
And then just so you guys can get an idea of whatever, and then I'll be making some fancy bennies on stream. And then we'll probably jump over into Conan after that. So, yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/WTFosaurus, where you're at right now. And on Twitter at WTFosaurus, if you ever want to message me. I want actually. I put out a tweet the other day. I want everybody to tweet at me what video, no matter what, always makes you laugh, no matter what mood you're in. I want to see videos from you guys, like what is like that hands down, whatever. I want you guys
Mine's
to
not
tweet
safe
that
for
out.
work.
That's okay. Tweet it at me. I don't care.
I can't. It's bad, but it's funny. I'll DM it to
You'll
you
DM
on
it to me,
Discord.
and I'll tweet it
my
out.
sex video to work.
Yeah.
No.
My sex video always makes me
He's
laugh.
like-
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I want to say thanks. I'm going to be not even going offline. I'll be going right into Submarine right after this. So thank you so much, guys. And we will see you later. And I will be jumping off Discord and I will talk to you guys afterward.
Woo!
Okay.
All right, guys. Take care.
Guys.
Ah!